The scheduling of the game to play East Carolina in 2020 was actually done 4 or 5 years ago. I got with East Carolina. We were in Conference USA together. We have a great, rich history. The game is a great game, and we thought it needed to be played. We've had great games, obviously, over the years, and so we got with East Carolina and 4 or 5 years ago, and we scheduled a 4-game series, 2 here in Huntington and two at East Carolina, and we decided, knowing that 2020 would be the 50th year of the tragic plane crash where the Marshall football team was returning from a very hard-fought, tough game that East Carolina won. We obviously know the tragedy. We obviously know what transpired after the tragedy, the rebirth of Marshall football. Obviously, I was a part of that in the 70s, in the late 70s, and it was very difficult. And Marshall eventually got their football program back to where we're playing for championships, and we're winning championships. And East Carolina has great tradition. Marshall and East Carolina are both very similar. Have great fan bases, have a great history, a great tradition with football, are kind of known as football schools. And the fans are rabid from both East Carolina and Marshall. And to put this game together on the 50th anniversary of the plane crash, to do it in Greenville, was something we wanted to do, and we talked about it, and we were able to get the game scheduled, and we're very much looking forward to it. It was a very great effort between both schools to get this game played and to open the season with it. So we're very excited and very honored and feel privileged to go back 50 years later. Well, the matchup means a great deal to me. I spent 8 good years at East Carolina. I have a lot of friends there. It's a great place. It's a great university. Marshall and East Carolina are very similar. Like I said, the fans are rabid. They love their football. They love their university. Our fans bleed green. The fans at East Carolina bleed purple, and they're great fans. There's so many great people there. And our schools are very similar. So to be able to go back and play this football game on such a historic, memorable occasion, again, 50 years later from the tragic plane crash, means a great deal to me and my family. I'm looking forward to going there. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of old friends. There's still people there that I worked with. I left in 2003, and it was just a tremendous program. The memories are phenomenal there. Some of the victories we had, probably the one that stands out the most was the victory over the Hurricanes from Miami, where we had to move the game from Greenville over to Raleigh to North Carolina State Stadium and play Miami because eastern North Carolina had been decimated by Hurricane Floyd. And that was, I think, 1999. And that's a great memory, and some of the great victories we had there over the years. The baseball program was so successful with the hiring of Keith LeClaire. And I can go on and on and on about all the wonderful people and the great times my family and I had in Greenville, North Carolina. So to go back and participate in this game on week 0 in front of a national audience, it means a lot, not only to me and my family, but it means a great deal to so many people on both sides. Well, the GMAC Bowl was such a great game that it became an ESPN instant classic. I think that right after the game or the next day, it was a phenomenal game. Obviously, we know Marshall came out on top. At that time, I was the athletic director at East Carolina, sitting in that press box and watching my alma mater, where I played football, play a program that I was the director of athletics of, and I loved dearly East Carolina. And make no question about it, my wife and my family and I, we were Pirates that night. We were cheering for East Carolina to win, and obviously it didn't work out for us at East Carolina. Marshall won, and you talk about a game with Byron Leftwich as a quarterback at Marshall and David Garrard at East Carolina, a bowl game, nationally televised. One of the most exciting football games I've ever been a part of, and I had obviously blood and on both sides of it, and it was times you look back, it was a difficult game in a lot of ways to be a part of, but to Marshall fans, I was rightly so. I was a Pirate that night, and when I go to Greenville on week 0 with Marshall, my alma mater, where I work now, I'm going to bleed green on that Saturday on week 0. And even though I bled purple in 1999 in that GMAC Bowl, I'm going to be all green. But put that aside, it's two great football programs coming together, joining together on a special occasion to do what's right. Yes, once that whistle blows and that game starts, I'm going to be all for the Herd, but prior to that, it's two great programs coming together for the right reason, and that is to pay recognition and honor the 75 people that we lost November 14th, 1970, and it'll be very emotional. It'll be emotional for me. It'll be emotional for my family. It'll be emotional for family members of the Marshall players that were lost 50 years ago, and it'll be very emotional for the East Carolina people. And I think that's good. I think that's we all will grieve together until the game starts. We will all honor the 75 until the game starts, and we will join together like we need to. And I'm so appreciative and thankful to John Gilbert, the athletic director at East Carolina, and many of his staff because they were very instrumental in making this game happen on week 0. It was their home game, and I was just very fortunate to participate with John Gilbert and help him in his effort to move this game to week 0. It will be the first football game to take place on American soil in 2020, Marshall and East Carolina. And no better game for no better occasion to honor 75 beautiful people that prematurely lost their lives